last GTS Mid-Week Report, guys. My name is Jonathan Graves. Yeah. I had to come with you with a different intro today. It's a sad time. This is the last GTS Mid-Week Report for the season. All our teams did make the playoffs, so we do have that to talk about. James Spikes, Minister of the Defense, pointing at the camera the whole time. Stevie G, one more time. You came with us. We appreciate you coming on, man. You came on when we really need you. You know, midway through the season, over midway through the season. So we really appreciate you coming on, giving us your insight. Stephen Miller's been with us most of the season. Appreciate you doing this, man. Appreciate you being on the GTS Mid-Week Report and spreading your knowledge about the Abbeville Panthers. So, what do we got coming up, guys? Let's review real quick the games from last week. A lot of them had big implications. Stephen, let's quickly go over the Greenwood Eagles. They're the only team left that isn't in the playoffs right now. They still got one more region game to go. They're going to play Lawrence this week in Lawrence. They lost the region championship last Friday night. You were at the game. So talk to me a little bit about what you see out of the Eagles moving forward.
Their offense needs to get back into Eagle ball. They were out of sync last Friday. Even when Greenwood had the ball for a long time, Rand's defense was holding them up. DJ Goodman, he was having a hard time around in the pocket, and he just couldn't complete anything. They ended up having like 5 interceptions total, and they just looked horrible. So they need to get right.
So you mean DJ Dunlap, the other DJ.
My bad, DJ.
Yeah. Let's move into the playoffs. We got some playoff teams here that we want to talk about. That's really going to be the main focus of the video. Let's start off with the Emerald Vikings. Finished the season up 3-7. They won through the last 4 games, which is pretty good for the Vikings. We're competitive in most of the region games. James, the Vikings made it to the playoffs. They will play Broome this upcoming Friday. But let's take a look back against Walhalla. What are some of the things you're seeing as the Vikings move into their playoff run?
Against Walhalla, finally Billy Pooza has found some confidence in himself, and that's going to cause a lot of teams they face a lot of trouble. So right now, when they played Walhalla last week, he was scrambling and rushing for yards. In one drive, he made most of the yards on the ground himself. Not with his arm, but with his feet. So I look at him do a lot of big things this week.
Steven, a school that's always been on the right track in football, stays on track every season, the Abbeville Panthers. No surprise, they take care of business against Liberty, the Liberty Red Devils. I think everybody saw that coming. Final score was, I believe, 50-9.
50-12.
50-12, okay.
Or 13.
I forgot. I didn't give them a field goal. But anyway, Abbeville defeated Liberty. Okay, Abbeville's got Palmetto coming up. First round of playoffs, I think everybody figures that's going to be a walk. Mm-hmm. So what are you seeing when you're seeing, when you're looking at Abbeville moving up forward in the playoffs?
Well, I think offensively and defensively they're good. It's easy to talk about Paxson and Elmore and Head and all those guys that are contributing and running the ball. Got to give some shout-outs to the offensive line who's been making holes, making blocks so that the running backs can, run for some big yards and touchdowns. You got to give a credit to the offensive line because, their names are never in the paper, but just want to give some credit to them too. But one question I do have about Abbeville is I think they turned the ball over 4 times against Liberty on Friday night. I think 2 times they fumbled the ball within the red zone. And, off and on this season, they've fumbled the ball, turned the ball over. And that's one question that I really have, especially, deep into the playoffs when they face Woodruff and some other teams. If turnovers may come back to haunt them deep into the playoffs. So that's one question that I really have about Abbeville. I think they need to work on. I mean, like I said, it's easy to talk about how good they are. They really are a great team, but there are some things I'm sure that the coaches are going to be working on with them. And fumbling the ball and keeping a tight grip on the ball is definitely one thing.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the game that, got the first debate going, the first and last debate going for the season last week. Where Shoals versus 96. I didn't see it turn out the way it did, but I got to give credit to the Hornets. they just got the Wildcats number right now. I don't think there's any other way to say it.
James needs 15 seconds of fame right now.
Yeah, 15 seconds of fame to James. He did pick that game. I think he was the only one on the panel to predict the correct score. Well, actually, I don't think you got the score right.
Wrong.
Well, but you did get the game right. I mean, you did pick the right team, and it was the team wearing purple and gold. So when you're looking at the Hornets, pretty easy game against Whitmire. I think everybody expects them to pretty much walk all over Whitmire.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're looking at the region champions this year, another region championship for the Hornets, what do you seeing moving forward?
Just so y'all know, that's 5 in a row for West Shoals. Just so everybody knows. And I see them moving on pretty easily through Woodruff. I mean, like you said, because not Woodruff, but Whitmire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they're West Shoals and they're not even on the same. They shouldn't even be on the same field with them, really. But West Shoals I think this week they'll stick to the power game for a little while, and then they get up, and then Coach Murdoch's gonna try to throw in some trick plays, just see if he can do it when he gets going against bigger and better teams, because he's going to need a couple of tricks to pull out his bag, and he's going to practice them this week against a lesser team.
Yeah. And, give West Shoals credit. We're going to give them credit again. That defense really stepped up and shut down a very, very explosive 96 offense. Now let's move over to the Wildcat side. Another tough loss. Like James said, that's 5 seasons in a row the Wildcats have lost to the Hornets, and they haven't been region champions. Letting Stevie G know about it. Steven, you said that, if they wanted to win the game, Nathan Prater would have to step up. I felt like Prater did have a decent game last game. I mean, he did have 6 catches. You said that Alex Good would have to run hard, but the Hornets did shut him down a little bit. Trey Smith had probably one of his most inconsistent games of the season. So when you're looking at the Wildcats, I think, in my opinion, they got a raw deal. Second in the region, 7-3 record, same as West Shoals. They did lose the region championship, but now they have to go on the road for the entire playoffs. Really tough road for the Wildcats, but when you're looking at them, what do you see?
It is going to be tough, especially with this opening round. They're playing Buford.
Yeah.
To my understanding. And, anytime you go on the road, it's hard enough. But when it's almost 2-hour drive, that's even harder. And not only that, but the implications, what's on the line, what's at stake is the playoffs and the state championship. They got a tough road ahead of them. But I think they'll make it a competitive game. And I think Alex Good, all of them, Alex Good, Trey Smith, Ryan Slack, they're all going to get back on track. The defense is going to get back on track. They're doing what they're doing. And I think they can learn and continue to learn from these rivalry games and these championship games against West Shoals.
So hopefully that young defensive line, and then some of the guys on offensive line, Trey Abney, he's going to be coming back. So hopefully some of the younger players did learn.
And they'll recognize what's going on
with
that West Shoals thing.
Yeah, so hopefully better success against West Shoals. Hopefully they'll get a better seed in the playoffs next year. But when we come back, we'll talk about the seeds, who these teams are playing. We'll break it down for you, make a prediction on if anybody from our local area will be moving forward in the playoffs this week. We'll be letting you know that when we come back.